Now, what are the 2 or 3 or 4 things that will make a hiring manager decide on you after an online interview? In this video, I'm going to be discussing the 6 important and must-do things for you to be able to nail an online interview. This sounds like what you are interested in. Then you may want to take your pen and paper, sit down, let's discuss how we're going to get these jobs, because there is no one-to-one interviews anymore. Thank you so much for tuning in to the QTV by Liz Njoga, whereby today we are looking at the 6 important things to do when you want to nail that online job interview, whether it's coming through Skype, whether it's through FaceTime, whether it's through Zoom, whichever kind of platform. As we are already aware, most of the jobs now, the interviews are going to be online. The very important things that you need to do to be able to convince the hiring manager online that you are worth joining their team. Now, your preparation is very important. You need to look good the same way you do if you are going for a physical interview. You need to look the part. Like, for example, I was interviewing for an hostess position with a world-class airline. For a hostess, I don't really need to take my entire skirt suit and with a coat to do an interview at home. I rather went for a formal, simple dress, which is a mirror for what they would wear. If I was adopted for that job, I may be expected to wear something like this, so that by dressing appropriately, I am already convincing the hiring manager that I am worth your time and I can deliver if you select me. Now try to introduce yourself in the mirror. If there is something about yourself that you don't like, that you feel you can change, take a few moments, do some practices, walk to the mirror, look straight. If you don't like the way your shoulder is, just adjust yourself. Pre-plan how you are going to appear in that interview. It really helps a lot. So you can do take 1, take 2, take 3. Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for inviting me for the interview. My name is Elizabeth Njoga. You see, at that point, I learned that, I have more hand movements. So I try to tone that down a bit. So by the time I arrive at the interview, I have learned a little bit of how my body language should be, how graceful I'm going to be, how well I look the part, how well I'm prepared in terms of knowledge, in terms of comfort, psychologically. If I will be adopted for the job, how will I carry myself? So it's okay if I miss the first time, I come back in, look at myself, give myself a very straight look, understand, am I tensed? Am I happy? Do I look confident? Do I look convincing? Am I happy with what I'm showing myself right now? And these are the things that will help you when it comes to nailing that job interview online. So this is the first stage, and we are going to look on to the rest just shortly in a different setting altogether. The very first one is test your computer. Ensure that the device you'll be using for this interview is well charged, is functioning well. You have tested the camera, you have tested everything that is related to that, including your internet speed, your connection. If you're using data, you have to make sure that there will be little to no disruption. This is the first test of the things that you need to do to ensure you nail that online job interview. The second important thing about nailing the online job interview is pick a good spot. Now, a good spot does not necessarily mean you have to have a cozy place or something like that. Just pick a space that is as plain as possible, that has little things in the background as possible that will be a distraction to your hiring manager. So it's very important, wherever you stay, there's always one area that has less things in it, that has maybe better connection if you're using Wi-Fi or these wireless connections. So there's always that one space that is preferred for you, even on your normal day, to do things like selfie. So pick a good spot. Now, the number three important thing to do when you are expecting an online job interview is eliminate distractions. Eliminate distractions, whether it is people, whether it is pets, whether it is noise, whether it is clutter in the background. Make sure you declutterize anything. Just make sure the environment is as graceful as possible. This also helps to encourage the employer to want to settle on you. Aside from that, it makes you look more organized as a person, because right now most companies are going through phases that they would not want to bring another disorganization in the form of you into their company. So try to ensure that your environment is encouraging. This one doesn't matter if you stay in a bed space or a shared accommodation. It is always okay to ask the people you're staying with, hey guys, I need some privacy today, I need some quiet, I have something to do online. You don't necessarily have to tell them I have an online job interview. You don't really need to say that. And I understand that this situation of the COVID-19 has helped people to be a little bit more tolerant. So it's okay to approach the people you stay with and say, I need you people to be away from home. I need you people to sit on the other side, or that's my corner, please don't make noise for me. And I believe there's always support that you are going to get with people you stay with. And the number 4 thing, you need to dress up and sit professionally. You need to sit up and dress professionally. Sit up and dress professionally. Why am I having this emphasis? Because you know where you have dispatched your resume. You know which kind of company, at least before you get an online interview, you have already been notified, maybe by a phone call, you have passed the first screening. It's a good sign. Maybe you have been emailed and told tomorrow at 2 p.m. we are having an online interview with you. Now, treat it as a normal interview where you'd have to dress up and go physically. So you cannot be late and you have to look professional. Try as much as possible to look the part. It gives the employer more encouragement to engage me more. And the more they engage you, it's a good sign that they are interested in you, or maybe they are waiting for you to mess up, or waiting to confirm that this is the person we are going for. So do not give them a reason to disqualify you based on your professionalism, based on how you dressed up for the interview. You really don't want that, because there's 1,001 people that want that same sport, right? The 5th one is calm down. Now, calming down may mean something like you smile. You smile. When you smile, good things are attributed to you. Kindness, happiness, just good and positive energy. Now, any employer or hiring manager would be happy to see that. So be the first one to give it. When you smile, the person normally smiles back. And being calm may mean you do things like eye contact, whether it's an online. Eye contact is very, very important. So ensure things like that. Try to be graceful, because you do not have a chance to physically show what you're made up of. So all the energy, you need to concentrate it here online through a screen to make sure the person can trust you enough with the position that has been advertised. All right? The conventional way of interview has always been things like a firm handshake, has always been things like giving pleasantries or compliments to make the hiring manager a little more comfortable with you. It has always been about making the employer feel important, focusing on what you can deliver. You know, all these things will now not come to play, because the reason an employer is going for you is that he plans to reward you financially for solving their problem. So don't appear cheap before your employer. And right now, we don't really know how the employment game is going to turn out, because this specific hiring manager may want to trick you in the sense that ask you questions like, so what is your salary expectation? You don't need to be damn well answering this. You need to be very considerate. If they will ask me such a question, I would try to summarize it and give them an idea of what I want. Our previous employer used to give me 1, 2, 3, and right now with the current situation, what are you offering? You see, you have thrown the question back to the person who you're talking with. You have not overquoted, and you have also not underquoted. Safety is important. Let nobody tell you, oh, go for what you want. Some of these questions are actually traps. So don't fall in one when an interview has already been successful, and then now you just mess it up last minute by overquoting or underquoting. When you underquote, they will feel like you are not as experienced as they want. When you overquote, they will feel our budget is not for you. After all, we can get somebody just like you. So you do not want to jeopardize this at all by overquoting or underquoting. Naturally, hiring managers may come to you already depressed for one reason or another. Maybe the previous applicants who have been interviewed before you gave them a hard time. You may want to consider that and read their tone, maybe mirror their body, give them the same body language that they give you. Try to mirror that. It makes them feel more comfortable. You know, anywhere, everybody wants to acknowledge the people that they like. They want to promote the people they like. They want to give jobs to people they like. So you need to make yourself likable. Actually, statistics has it that better looking people have a higher tendency of being selected for jobs as compared to their counterparts. So if you feel you do not have this outward endowment that will advocate for you, then you need to go the extra mile by having the very strong personality, by being eloquent, by being kind, by being firm. You do not want to appear like a walkover. You understand? So give your very best and do not underestimate yourself. Do not appear like you are below the employer. Just go and present what you are being interviewed for. And finally, knowledge of the company that is going to interview you is very key. Try to be knowledgeable about the company that is set to interview you. You never know what kind of tricks this hiring manager may come up with. You never know what the interviewer is looking for. They could trick you into standing up from your position to go and grab something across. They want to see how comfortable you are in your space. And if you give them a reason to think that you are not even comfortable in your own space, that in itself is a jeopardy for your position. Now, you don't know how long your interview will last. So it's okay to keep yourself comfortable. It's all right to have a glass of milk or tea with you. This will make this interviewer understand that you are a normal person. You are natural, you are authentic, and you don't have any reason for pretense. Normally, if you'd walk up in their hotel, they could ask you, you care for tea or you care for coffee? So in the comfort of your own home, you're simply telling this person that I am comfortable in my space. And if you can't be comfortable in your own space, it means I can trust you with my comfort. And now the bonus and the very, very important approach. Previously, recruiters or hiring managers would be more interested in what you can bring to the company. Right now, with this situation, they are looking for something additional are you a safe person to be with? Safety practice is something of great importance in the airline industry. Generally, safety practices is very important, and you need to have this potential employer understand that you are a safe person, you are cautious of your environment, you are initiative oriented, you are responsible, and you can give all of this by sitting down in front of your computer and letting that interviewer understand that you are the ideal person. Thank you so much for tuning into the QTV by Liz Njoga. I have been your presenter, Elizabeth Njoga.